Hello guys, it's your boy Sagi once again with another Honor of Kings tutorial. This time is the one you guys been requesting, which is the Honor of Kings full item guide tutorial with a bit of MLBB item comparisons for our newcomers from MLBB to really join well and understand the game better. So without further ado, let's get to all the items. We'll be talking about physical, magic, defense, jungling, roaming, boots, you name it, it's all in this guide. So let's go. Alrighty, starting off the list with Physical Pierce items. So in Mobile Legends, for specific Gold Lane and Marksman, you will always go Malefic Gun because of the extra range and Physical Pen. For Honor of Kings, it's about the same. However, Daybreaker does not give you extra range. It gives you crit, attack speed, and extra pen if you are a ranged user. So it's a very Marksman specific physical penetration item. So next up is Malefic Roar from MLBB, a very standard item for caster marksman, assassins, bruiser, or fighters. Same as HOK, Starbreaker is the same item for fighters, caster marksman, and also assassins. So it's an all-use physical penetration item. Okay, next up, early game physical pen items, usually flat pen. So Blade of Heptasis and also Hunter Strike is the strong early game items that we see in MLBB. Well, however, if it's talking about HOK, we have Axe of Torment, a very standard item, gives you CDR, gives you the armor pen that you require to really snowball early game. Most of the fighter, assassin, caster, marksman that are physical damage will always buy Axe of Torment. However, for a certain few marksmen or those heroes that rely on attack speed after casting spells, they will usually go for this item, which is a Dreamforge Tempest, which is very low in terms of people actually buying this item. So usually the to-go item for flat penetration is always Axe of Torment for the early game. Now when we talk about early game, we will always think about Fury Hammer and MLBB, where it's like a very snowball heavy item. It gives you the flat pen that you need to win lane or to dominate lane, right? For HOK, it's about the same. We have Meteor that builds into Axe of Torment and Starbreaker, Cloud Piercer as a third item or third and a half item that builds into a Daybreaker for Marksman. So these are the few physical pierce items in Honor of Kings comparing to MLBB. Alright, next up, physical attack items here. So when we talk about physical damage or physical attack items, we can never run away from Blade of Despair, BOD, the highest physical damage item in MLBB. Same for Honor of Kings, we have Siegebreaker here, does the exact same thing, has the highest physical damage stat, and does more damage to low health enemies around 50% or lower. Next up is Endless Battle and Master Sword. Both items are the same. You cast a spell, you get an enhanced basic attack after spell cast. The only difference here is that the enhanced basic attack that Endless Battle provides gives you true damage and it heals you. For Master Sword, it doesn't heal you and the enhanced basic attack is a physical damage source. And next up is Heart's Claw and Bloodweeper, the highest percent lifesteal item in both games from MLBB and from Honor of Kings. Only difference is Heart's Claw gives you attack speed and gives you the crit chance that you need for your critical build. Bloodweeper is just a generic lifesteal item. It just has a lot of lifesteal and it gives you a healing when you're about like 20 or 30% health. Alright, so Sea Halberd and Mortal Punishers are the healing reduction item for physical heroes in both MLBB and Honor of Kings. However, the healing reduction items in MLBB does reduce shield as well, but for HOK, all healing reduction items does not reduce shield. Alright, so that is the difference here. Okay, next up, on-hit item trio, or known as the Marksman Trinity from Mobile Legends Bang Bang. So MLBB introduces Demon Hunter Sword, Corrosion Sight, and Golden Staff. So the similarity here is Demon Hunter Sword does percentage health damage towards the enemy. So more HP means more damage. Same goes for Doomsday, it does the same. Corrosion Sight, it slows you, same as Defrost Siege here. Sparkforce Dagger, it does magic damage. So what's the difference between these two Marksman Trinity here? On-hit item trio for MLBB features these three. It does more on hit effects and scales better to late game because of Golden Staff's double hit proc, right? For on hit item trio in Honor of Kings, which is Doomsday, Sparkforce Dagger, and Defrost Siege, it's more towards mixed damage, physical plus magic from Doomsday, and magic from Sparkforce Dagger and Defrost Siege. It spikes extremely hard during the early to mid stages, and it usually features your build on the right hand side here, down here, which is a semi-tank build for marksmen such as Direnjir. So it's a pretty good build to try out. Just it's not as scaling towards late game compared to like Mobile Legends Trinity here. Alright, next up, crit item trio. In Mobile Legends, usually it features Berserker Fury to amp up your crit damage, Wind Talker to up your attack speed and wave clear, and Heart's Claw for your healing and additional attack speed from like the Scarlet Phantom passive. So for Honor of Kings, we have that as well. Eternity Blade to buff your crit damage, Shadow Ripper to buff your attack speed, and Sun Chaser, which is similar to Malefic Gun's additional range, but however, Sun Chaser gives you in the form of active item. You click it like this, and it gives you an additional range to hit even further for that specific amount of time. The key difference here is that MLBB's item in terms of lifesteal crit item is this one, which is a very smooth item path, and it provides you wave clear and crit item. For HOK, it's more brute damage, higher DPS, and has an active range item. If you're wondering like, hey Sagi, what is the optimal build for crit item trio into the late game? It is down here, which is Eternity Blade into Shadow Ripper, into the Daybreaker, into Sun Chaser, into Blood Weeper, or situational items like the Immortal from HOK. Now, let's talk about situational items that you can use for physical damage heroes in Honor of Kings. So if we compare back to Mobile Legends, usually we will see physical heroes use like the Wind Chant for Marksman to block off physical damage from the gold lane, Winter Crown for the Stasis, or Rose Gold Meteor for the shield, alright? So for Honor of Kings, we don't really have any of these, at least for physical, right? Destiny is a one-time proc when you fall below 1% health. It gives you a 1 second if you're melee, 0.5 seconds if you are ranged, immunity for the fatal damage. For Pure Sky, it is a straight up busted item that gives you percentage damage reduction for the damage you're about to receive from your enemy. Blood Rage is a very standard damage item that gives you, it's not a damage item, it's a tank item that gives you an active shield when you press it. It's a burst of shield that can save you in multiple occasions here. And I gotta remind you guys, shield in HOK can be bypassed by true damage coming from Lubu, coming from Marco Polo, Diao Chan, or any form of true damage, right? And the key difference here in both games here, MLBB has a lot of adaptive force situational items, such as the Winter Crown, such as the Rose Gold Meteor, and the others, right? For HOK, it's more on physical damage stats item for physical hero at the very least. Okay, next up, other physical attack items in Honor of Kings that might have no resemblance towards any MLBB item so far. So I still find I need to explain to you guys because it's important, so let's get to it. First item, Demon's Bane right here. This item provides you with a lot of magic defense when you build more physical damage. So imagine you're a 56 item, it will give you the max value. Very suitable for fighters, assassins, or even some gold laner or marksman that build a lot of physical damage. Next up will be Streamforged Sky Pierce. It's an active item that pushes back enemy, good for self-defense as a farm or gold lane. Usually built by a farm or gold laner here. You can think about it as like a Moskov spell to push back on the spear, okay? Now, Skydome and Sunpool, these are just item upgrades that you can get after 20 minutes. You have to buy them. It's an item upgrade from Pure Sky and Sun Chaser that we mentioned just now in the video, right? Alright, so that's for all the physical items in Honor of Kings. So sadly, we do not have Sky Piercer or Fleeting Time in Honor of Kings, but let's check out the magic items real quick. Okay, magic attack items here. So Lightning Truncheon from MLBB is Scepter of Reverberation here. It is extra damage on spell when it hits the enemy. It's like a splash or like a Lightning Truncheon that you see. Ice Queen Wand and Frozen Breath is about the same. It gives you slow when your spell hits. But for Frozen Breath, it has an additional passive whereby if the enemy is already slowed and your spell hits them, it grants you extra damage. Holy Crystal and Savan's Wrath is about the same item. It's high magic attack stats and it grants you percent magic increase, suitable as a third or fourth item in the game. And when we talk about magic penetration, we can never forget about Divine Glaive and Void Staff. These have the highest percent magic pierce in both games of MLBB and Honor of Kings. Okay, next up, more magic attack items here. When we talk about Mobile Legends, mana regen item, cooldown reduction item, we can never forget about Enchanted Talisman here. In Honor of Kings, we have a similar item known as Holy Grail. Same, you get high percent mana regeneration, you get cooldown reduction on your spells, you also get HP regen when your mana bar is full. Next up will be Concentrated Energy, a magic lifesteal item from MLBB. If you want magic lifesteal, you can find Insatiable Tome in Honor of Kings, this book right here. So when we talk about applying magic damage on basic attacks, we will relate back to Feather of Heaven from MLBB. In Honor of Kings, we have a similar item as well known as the Golden Blade. Both similar in terms of their passive when you buy them. Gets more magic damage on basic attacks. And lastly, we have Starlium Sight from MLBB, where you cast a spell, you get your next basic attack with a slow and true damage. For HOK, you don't get the slow, you don't get the true damage, but after casting a spell, you get magic damage. So that's the key difference between Starlium and States of Sorcery. Okay, more magic attack items for us to compare between MLBB and Honor of Kings. So when we talk about Glowing Wand, we relate back to Burn, and reducing healing. So we want to reduce healing here is Venomous Staff in Honor of Kings. So as I mentioned, there is no reduced shield in Honor of Kings. So if you're looking for a reduction in healing, do go for Venomous Staff in Honor of Kings. Okay, we talk about Winter's Crown is a defensive item for carries in MLBB because of adaptive stats of the recent changes, so anyone can buy it. However, for Honor of Kings, these stats are still remain as for magic users only, so if you buy it as a carry, physical carry, it's probably because of ultra late game where you are fast hand swapping between Immortal, Destiny, and also Splendor. Next up will be Feather of Heaven. It is an active item, not active item, a passive item that provides you with a shield and movement speed. For Ardent Dominator, however, it is the opposite. It is more similar towards Rose Gold Meteor, as it gives you a shield when you're low and also purifies you from any form of crowd control that is not a suppression, such as Franco, which is similar to like Liang or Dong Huang. Next up, Clock of Destiny and August Word. Very similar to item that is very suitable for battle tank mages that require hybrid defense and magical stats. Lastly, we have Genius Wand from MLBB and Twilight Stream from HOK, both items that stacks Magical Pierce onto the enemy or your own self when you're in combat. Okay, next up, more magic attack items from Honor of Kings. So we won't be comparing back to MLBB as I do think that they don't have much of a resemblance, or we already have compared some of the items already. So Tome of Wisdom. This item is the magic damage Blade of Despair in Honor of Kings. It is the biggest item you can get as a mage towards the late game. Gives you a bunch of stats increase, cooldown reduction, magic damage, and also percentage damage increase. Massive Agony, as we mentioned, this is the burning item compared back to Glowing One just now. Applies burn effect like Glowing One, but no healing reduction effect. While Breakthrough Rope here, it is a mage tank or battle mage kind of item where it converts your health to magical pierce, usually paired with August Word to stack your magical pierce, HP, and hybrid defense in terms of magic defense and physical defense. Next up, we have Moon Goddess, an item upgrade for Splendor after 20 minutes. It pairs up with other items that allows you to be upgraded at around 20 minutes when Tempest Dragon spawns, usually a game-ending item. So that's all the mage items in Honor of Kings explained. So let's move towards the tank items real quick. Now, physical defense items. We talk about defense first. So in MLBB, we have Anti-Cuirass to really counter Marksman or physical damage heroes. In Honor of Kings, we have Ominous Premonition, both to really counter high physical, especially for the Marksman. For Ominous Premonition, instead of reducing physical damage, it reduces attack speed and movement speed of the user. Next up will be Thunderbelt from Mobile Legends and Frostguard's Embrace from Honor of Kings. Both enhances their basic attack after spell cast with slow effect. Next up will be Dominance Ice from MLBB and Glacial Buckler from HOK. Let's not focus on Dominance Ice healing reduction passive yet. We focus on the other passive where it reduces attack speed while receiving damage. The healing reduction part, we refer back to Blazing Cape later on the video. So when we talk about like laning phase, usually we'll wear the pants of Steel Leg Pants if you are a farm lane, gold lane, right? I'm pretty used to it. So in Honor of Kings, you can buy a Protector's Cuirass as well if you're looking to really stack a lot of armor. It's a tier 2 physical defense item for the early game that builds towards the Ominous Premonition and other items. Now, moving on to magic defense items. A lot of you have been asking, Sagi, what is Athena's shield in HOK? It is Succubus Cloak. This item right here, it gives you a magic shield item to block magic damage here. The tier 2 item of it, the component of it will be Silence Robe from MLBB, and Clandestine's Cape from HOK. It's a tier 2 magic defense item if you ever need a smaller component to live you through the laning phase, right? So for Oracle from MLBB, it increases healing, same as Eye of the Phoenix. However, Eye of the Phoenix, the passive is more specific. The lower your health, the more healing you will get. Moving on, let's talk about other defense item in Honor of Kings. For Overlord's Plate Mail, it is very similar to Guardian's Helmet in Mobile Legends. It recovers HP each second and is increased out of combat by 3 times. Next up, Curse Helmet, the burning item from MLBB, will be Blazing Cape in HOK, AoE burn. However, Blazing Cape has the same passive of Dominance Ice. It reduces healing of enemies like Dominance Ice. However, once again, to remind you guys, healing reduction in HOK does not reduce shield, so remember that. Next up, Twilight Armor from MLBB equals to Long Night Guardian HOK. It is an anti-burst item and it heals a lot after taking excess damage. So keep that in mind. If you're against burst, you're a tank, do buy Long Night Guardian. And I want to remind you guys, check out over here. If you are a tank, you can buy Long Night Guardian against burst. If you're against a squishy, if you are a squishy, please go for Succubus Cloak instead, because Long Night Guardian scales better if you have more health. Lastly, Brute from some MLBB and Curious of Savagery in HOK, you get stronger every second in combat, usually suitable for fighters that lingers along the battlefield for a very long time. Curious of Savagery doesn't give you adaptive force, however it gives you movement speed and damage increase. Now let's talk about some situational defense items for Honor of Kings. So Sage Sanctuary equals the Immortal, so you can revive upon death, but you can only use it twice in one match. So keep that in mind. Once that 2 charges is up, you can never use Sage Sanctuary for the entire game until you end. So next up will be Spike Mail and Blade Armor. Both purpose is to reflect damage towards the user. Next up will be Blood Rage or Phantom. It's an active item that gives a burst of shield, and Blood Rage can be upgraded to Phantom of 20 minutes. So this item, if during 20 minutes, you can upgrade towards Phantom. It will give you more stats, more shield, and all that you need here. So Frigid Charge here is an active item that stuns nearby enemies like Petrify. And Frigid Charge as well can be upgraded to Winter after 20 minutes. So these are the 20-minute items that we've talked so far, like Splendor's 20-minute, Moon Goddess, and also Sun Chaser's 20-minute item, which is Sunpool. Moving on to more situational defense items that you can only find in Honor of Kings, it is Dragon's Rage. So to make it simple, if you're more tanky with more HP, your basic attack does more damage and it offers you healing. Dawnlight in HOK is a roamer utility item where it grants a shield to self and enemy when you damage enemy nearby. If you check the bushes and your spell lands on an enemy and the shield flies towards you, it can also serve as a map checking tool to open up the map for your team. Well guys, that's all the tank items we have in Honor of Kings. Let's move on towards the boots, the movement items of Honor of Kings. Let's go. Now, let's talk about movement item, the boots in Honor of Kings. So, Boots of the Arcane is a 2-in-1 special compared to Demon Shoes and Arcane Boots. It has Magical Pierce and Mana Regen in one boots. So, Rapid Boots and Boost of Deafness is about the same. It's for the purpose of roaming fast around the map with additional movement speed. Swift Boots is Boost of Dexterity in Honor of Kings. Both provides attack speed, usually used by Marksman or Farm Lane or Gold Lane. However, Boost of Dexterity gives you healing on hit as a passive. Magic Shoes and Boots of Tranquility is the same, it's a cooldown reduction boots. However, Boots of Tranquility also reduce your common spells, which is your Flick, which is your Petrify, your Stun, your Teleport, yada yada. This reduces it by 15%. Warrior Boots and Boots of Fortitude, these two are the same. It is a physical defense boot to fight out physical damage users. Now, Tough Boots and Boots of Fortitude is the same. It's a magic defense boots. However, it reduces crowd control and slow duration as well in both MLBB and HOK. Now that you understand most of the boots function in Honor of Kings comparing back to MLBB, let's move on to jungling items. Now, let's talk about jungling items. So for Mobile Legends, jungling is Retribution. Your retreat, if you retreat on an enemy, depending on which retreat you decide to take, you can retreat and steal away physical or magic stats, movement speed, or health from the enemy. It is purchased as a boot from the start of the game. So for HOK jungle item, it is a separate item from boots, as you can see. This is a Hunter Machete, and this is the blue jungle item for magic users, pink jungle item for tank users, and physical users go for the red color jungle item. So smite upgrades automatically slow enemy when purchased from the small one to the tier 2 one. So as we mentioned, red is for physical damage, blue is for magic damage, and pink is for tank junglers. And to one point that I want to tell you guys, HOK junglers have no penalty on gold or EXP, but they won't share with laners. They take the lowest amount like roamers here. However, if the roamer and the jungle are both present in one lane, the gold is shared evenly amongst all 3 or all 4 members in that one lane. So do keep that in mind before 4 minutes. Okay, jungle item easy, right? Now that you understand it, let's move towards the last section, which is the roaming item of HOK. Let's go. Now, the final part of our item tutorial of Honor of Kings will be the roaming item in HOK. So if you do compare it back to MLBB's items, the roaming item, it is purchased as a boot similar to the jungle item, and you need to accumulate gold to unlock the active effect of maybe Conceal or Dire Hit or the other two, right? However, in HOK, the roaming item is purchased as a separate item known as the Knowledge Gem. You have to have this to be avoiding to steal gold or EXP from your teammates. So make sure you buy this as a roamer in HOK. So this item can be evolved into 2 different items, which is the Guardian that grants hybrid defense to teammates nearby, or Crimson that grants attack speed and cooldown reduction to nearby teammates. So depending on which one you need. You can alter between both whichever roam you play. So these two items can be upgraded to 4 different active passives. Redemption, which is this one, gives shield towards teammates. Star Spring is a healing that you can give to one ally and yourself. It heals HP and mana, so it saves them or saves yourself from having to recall back to base. Radiance is a very good tool, a very popular tool to do AoE reviews or to check bushes to open map. It also slows the enemy, so use this when you're near bushes to get the max value. And lastly, if you're playing engaged roamers or you're looking for fast rotations for a quick pick off, do go for HOK. This right here, it is AoE speed boost for your teammates and yourself to look for these big potential engages. And that, ladies and gentlemen, are all the items you need to know in Honor of Kings. Man, that was a long item tutorial, but hopefully you guys learned something about the item system and the item choices of Honor of Kings. I hope you like this video. If you do like it, do drop a like and subscribe and comment. Let me know what you want to see next. Yeah, my name is Sagi, an English caster and English content creator for Honor of Kings. I will see you soon in the upcoming KW 2025. See you guys. Bye-bye.